Are there negative feelings coming up if you think about stress? Stress is one of the words which is inflationary used in today's society and causes a lot of mental issues. So, of course, we have a bad relationship with stress. But we also need to understand why we feel stressed and how it can help and warn us in our daily life. Let's look at this from a scientific perspective. Stress is purely negative. People are overworked, burned out, or stressed by their current projects, and they are always waiting for the calm time to come. And of course, too much stress makes health worse and affects our lives in a bad way. But if we would cut all projects, workloads, and expectations, could we live relaxed without feeling stressed? Or is this just a wish that will never come true? Many people think that if there's zero stress in our lives, then we can live happily and achieve optimum health. As per the definition of stress, it's actually a vital part of our daily life that gives the spark and enjoyment we are all been wanting to experience. The most generic definition of stress is that proposed by Hans Selye. Stress is the non-specific response of the body to any demand. Stress, he underscores, is not something to be avoided. Indeed, it cannot be avoided, since just staying alive creates some demand for life-maintaining energy. Complete freedom from stress can be expected only after death. So to summarize, stress is in general nothing bad, and it doesn't lead to an unhealthy bad lifestyle. It's the very reason why we feel happy when you perform well on an examination or feel satisfied after a long and hard job well done. But why do we think stress is something bad? Selye first described that the general adaptation syndrome has 3 stages: alarm, resistance, exhaustion. In the alarm stage, the body shows changes characteristic of the first exposure to the stressor. These changes generally coincide with the sympathetic discharge that enables the fight or flight. If the stressor continues and is compatible with adaptation, features of the alarm reaction disappear, and resistance develops. Prolonged exposure to the stressor may result in exhaustion and finally death. As we can see, there are 3 different stages of stress, which can lead to an unhealthy manner to manage stress. We think stress is something bad because we are referring to the stresses in our lives that are left unmanaged or mismanaged. Therefore, if you are able to manage stress in the most appropriate way you can, then you will look at it as beneficial rather than destructive. Everybody experiences and responds the same way to stress. Just as how unique you are, stress is actually individualized in a different manner, sensation, and response. For instance, suppose a group of 30 students take an examination. The examination is the stressor, which remains the same for all the students. But the very stress that each of them experiences is different from one another. One may feel that he is prepared to answer all the test questions because he has reviewed for weeks, while another may feel he is not as ready as the former. What is stressful for student A may not be stressful for student B, so the responses of the 2 students are entirely varying. Stress is not present if there are no symptoms. As we've learned before, stress is not a disease process. It's part of our emotional life and a human condition that we should not avoid. Otherwise, we will avoid feeling happiness and joy as well. It's part of a scale that needs to be balanced. So we might have gotten used to it due to proper management or even mismanagement, and might not notice that we feel happy, worried, nervous, etc. in the presence of the stressor. Stress is always there, even in the absence of evident symptoms. Therefore, we should not expect that all stressful moments provide obvious symptoms. Although symptoms or feelings of excitement, worry, or mild anxiety might be left unrecognized due to the exposure to that same stressor. Attention should only be given to stress that shows major or grave symptoms. Most often, people seek medical or psychological help only when the effects of stress have gone from bad to worse. Minor symptoms like stomach upset or headache are often ignored by people who still believe in this misconception. But the truth is, we experience these minor symptoms in order to warn us about the coming worse symptoms or effects of stress, if it is left unmanaged or mismanaged. So we should learn to hear what kind of emotions and senses are going on in our bodies. That's the only way to detect stressors that need to be transformed into something that doesn't harm us. If you want to learn how to listen to your body and become mindful, click on the link in the description box, which will lead you to our mindfulness playlist. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing if you haven't yet, and I hope to see you in the next video.